All right, let me switch this up. What's going on? How you doing? Welcome to Share the Knowledge Live, STK Live, episode 43. YouTube is live. Twitch is live. I think Mixcloud is live. Twitter is live. Let's see. Facebook is probably live. LinkedIn. I think we're all here. I have to pull up my phone, though, to add Mixcloud to the chat because I already saw a question there. This feels a little bit different. I don't mind standing here, but normally I have my headphones on, so I'm not hearing my own voice the same way, but it's okay. Harley de Vries, what up? Mike for Life, salute. Let me pull Mixcloud up real quick. Vinyl Touch in the building. What up? Let me just grab that live. Okay, that sounds good. L Pro, yes. And DJ Rel TNT also on Mixcloud. So, okay, I'm going to keep this right here next to me so I can always grab that. All right, different setup for a couple of reasons. First off, the cameras were still in this position, and I thought today would be a good day to go through some of the stuff that I still need to cover in actual review form. But I thought, why not just bring it out here during the live and also show you. So this is not a review, but still showing you. So let me start with the question by L Pro, since L Pro was first. And the question was, how do you stay in the game so long and stay fresh? I think it all has to do with, well, let's be honest. I can only speak for myself, but if I say that, that would mean that I consider myself fresh, which I do. No, I do believe it has to do with your passion for what you're doing. If you love what you do, it's not that hard to continue to do it for a longer time. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't have ups and downs, because that's just part of the whole process. That's part of the journey. But I embrace every step of it. Now, if you're talking about staying fresh musically, so if you don't want to become an old head who has no idea of what's popular right now, if that's what you're talking about when you say fresh, I mean, nowadays it's actually pretty easy to at least know what's coming out, because we all have the same outlets we can check. Of course, you have DJ pools, you have the streaming platforms. In some cases, you might have children. So I have two. I have, the oldest is a 14-year-old, so almost 14. I'm ahead of myself. He still has like a month left before he's there. But that also keeps you in tune. Even though I stay up to date with new releases, kids will know more of those artists. And it's not even that I want to play all those artists, but it's good to at least know what's going on. But then again, there might be a lot that I miss as well. So L Pro, I don't know. I hope that kind of answers your question. And it's funny. I got this question again, this time from Rel. Considering Rain 1 versus the 1000 SRT, so the DDJ 1000 SRT, the Serato version of the DDJ 1000, or a Rain 1, it's hard to get product these days. I'm hearing more and more of that too. Indeed. I'm feeling the Rain 1 is a really great option because it will... Oh, and then it stops. But okay, it's funny. To me, the comparison between the two is still a little strange because one has motorized platters. So just because of the fact it has the motorized platters, I see that as a completely different game. You have your controllers, just your static controllers with jog wheels. And then you have controllers with motorized platters, which are meant to emulate the feeling of turntables. And yeah, that's just a totally different thing. I think if you choose Rain 1, you do it because you want to have that turntable feel. And if I would have to pick between the two, I would pick the Rain 1 because of that. I never used the Rain 1, but I have my NS7. I'm familiar with motorized platters that are about that size, and I know how well they work. So I would love it. Now, if we're talking about just normal controllers with a static jog wheel, the 1000 is a great controller. Shout outs. Mixmaster G is in the building. DJ Wiz is in the building. Who else is here? We got DJ Scratch with a K in the building. So that's not DJ Scratch with a C. Different DJ Scratch. Even though it's a different letter, when you pronounce your name, people are still going to see that as the same name. So question from me to you, have you ever ran into that people, when they hear your name, that they start talking about the other DJ? But I appreciate that message. Mike for Life. Okay, Mike for Life owns the Rain 1 and 1000 SRT. In my opinion, the Rain 1 isn't worth 1700. Right. That is a lot of money. The 1000 feels better to use, which is weird because it's plastic. Yeah, I have that with some of the Pioneer controllers. It's not like they have like crazy build quality made out of metal, you name it. If you like grab an NS7 by Newmark, that's a machine right there. But the 1000 feels really well. But again, for me personally, I will always prefer the motorized platter. DJ Kylo, what's going on? And Collector Ski Music is in the building as well. No, I still have not tried the SE6000M. I have to scroll up, but I saw a question about the camera. The camera I'm using right here is the GoPro Hero 10. That's the 10. This is the 9. And that's the Hero 5. Just to illustrate the difference. Oh, yeah, and then I have another one. I'll turn that on in a second, the M50. I finally was able to go to a total GoPro setup for my mix streams. I just like the fact that they have the same type of image. I really like the image quality for streaming. This is, I think I have it set to linear at the moment or narrow. So this is not even one of their wide modes. This can also go wide or super view. If I put this on super view, you're going to see everything, but you do get that fish eye effect. So for streaming, I do prefer to have something that is, well, a lot more straight. This feels like a normal camera. And DJ Mike L, I think that's how you pronounce it. I see that capital L. So I can switch to it. That is my ATEM Mini Pro. That is a video switcher. And that allows me to switch between videos, cameras. So in this case, I have everything in my studio currently is set up in a way that I just have everything connected. So I have 4 HDMI inputs. All of them are connected. And I have 4 different places within the studio where I can just place different cameras. So right now I have this GoPro here. So I can always have that overhead view when I'm doing my mixes. The one, that's my main camera view. Then, did it turn on now? Yeah. That is my M50. That is above the desk. Now, when I normally do my Share the Knowledge live, I'm sitting behind a desk. And I just take this GoPro and I place it in the same position as the other camera. All the cables are already there, so I can just plug and play. And yeah, I love working with GoPros as a DJ, because if I do have something to do on the road, for instance, a couple of weeks ago during Amsterdam dance event, I did an in-store and I wanted to stream. I don't want to bring like my M50 or other larger cameras. The GoPros, they're super small, so they're easy to carry. When it comes to that video switcher, I'm using the ATEM Mini Pro. There's also an ATEM Mini that has the same amount of switches, so you can do everything I'm doing now. The difference is with this Pro version, you can also live stream straight from the box. So I can use that device to live stream without a computer. That's what I actually did during that in-store. I took my 2 GoPros. I had the ATEM Mini Pro, connected the GoPros, and you just have an Ethernet port on that device. Plug it in, and I can just hit on air and it starts streaming. So first you connect it to your computer. You just set it up with a stream key. In this case, my Restream stream key. Anytime I want to live stream from that box, all I have to do is press on air and it'll start streaming to Restream. And then it all depends on what I have activated on Restream. In this case, I have a bunch of platforms open. So Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Mixcloud. I think that's all of them. Lamont Lacey, what's going on? What's happening, DJ TLM? I'm DJing live on IG. All right, have fun. I cannot check you right now, that's for sure. Pradeep, what's going on? Salute to you. And we got MJ Speedy in the building, DJ Accurate in the building. I'm going to scroll up for a sec because I'm sure I missed a couple. Raider 1, Aruba in the building. Yes. All right, I caught everything there. Vinyl Touch, I saw your question. Yeah, the new MacBooks look amazing. They look like super powerful. Here's my only thing, like when you look at the Apple event and you look at the promotion, well, the information for it, they showcase that is this super powerful computer, which it is, and then they show you how you can use it to do all sorts of super power intensive like 3D rendering and all of that stuff. Most of us do not actually even need that type of power, but yes, it's cool to have it. Now, if you're also a video editor, it's great because it can do it with very little energy consumption. They look amazing. The Windows route still works as well. So currently, I was DJing with my Surface Book 1, shout out MIC. That one is just too old now. So when I'm DJing in the studio, I'm using my studio computer to DJ. That's also a Windows computer. And I'm currently talking to XMG because they make Windows laptops where they modify them or try to optimize them for DJs. And that's what I really like about what they're doing. They had this special DJ laptop, but I'm looking at something that would also fit like video editing purposes. But I mean, both will work. Both will work great. Let's see. Okay, if and when DJing a Zoom event, do you recommend DJing via Zoom or use OBS to feed into Zoom? Okay, shout out Nipsey. Love that ringtone, but I'm not supposed to be getting calls. Let me just set that focus. There we go. Do not disturb is active. My bad. I probably would use OBS. Like if I'm DJing, I might want to just add overlays and stuff like that. I prefer to use OBS for that. You could definitely go directly into Zoom. I mean, that works as well. I think you just have to find the workflow that works best for you. I think it all depends on how you DJ when you're streaming, like how your streaming setup is. Both will work though. Lamont Lacy says, thank you for answering my question on IG. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about DJing on IG. Darrell, what's going on? Comments on the Newmark mix stream. Also, should we invest time in DJ or is it better to get used to Serato and Record Box? All right. I have not tried the mix stream. It looks cool. It's great to have another all-in-one standalone device that is more affordable. So it looks like a lot of fun. I don't know if I would choose that one over the other all-in-one units that are available, but the other ones are more expensive. So I'd love to try it out. Should we invest time in DJ? Well, I love algorithm DJ. To me personally, I like to know my way around as many different systems as possible. So I can DJ with vinyl, I can DJ with DVS using Serato or Tractor or Record Box. I can DJ with a controller with Serato, algorithm DJ, Record Box, Tractor. I still need to try out Virtual DJ, but I'm pretty sure I'll get the hang of it within no time. So yeah, just trying out different things. I think it's always a good thing to know how it works. And I would invest time, but that's me. If you already have a working system and that works fine for you, hey, you can use that as well. Mixcloud, sorry. Gotta make sure I continue to check. Check. Okay, no new messages. Levi says the letters DJ is for disc jockey, if I'm correct. Yes. So why is it that if a person doesn't play in a club, he's not considered a DJ? At least that's what I'm hearing. I mean, first off, you have different kinds of DJs. Like in the days when people were talking about the disc jockeys, a lot of times they were talking about radio jocks who weren't even using like a DJ setup. They were just playing music. They were considered DJs. So you have DJs like that. Then you have club DJs. You have bedroom DJs. You have all sorts of DJs. My advice is don't listen to what people are saying. That's first off. Now, if someone DJs at home and not in clubs, could you call the one person, if they only DJ at home, a bedroom DJ? Yes. Could you possibly call someone who's playing in clubs getting paid to DJ a professional DJ? Yeah. I mean, there's a difference, but you're both DJs. Ritsuko. What is going on, Ritsuko? Okay. Doesn't really sound DJ related as far as I can tell. All good though. Like I said, I have a couple of things here. I just want to cover these things. I'm going to do full reviews, but I still haven't gotten around to do it. And I just wanted to share some of these things with you. So I'm going to do that right now. I have a couple things on the table. This one right here. This one just came in last week. This is a record bag, and I actually didn't really have a record bag, by a company called Tucker and Bloom. They do handmade DJ bags. They have a lot of dope stuff on their site. They also have a couple of dope collabs with DJs. They have a sick collab with Rich Medina. Salute to Rich. And that bag is made from basketball leather. So the leather has that basketball feel to it. Looks super dope. But anyways, I have a lot of different bags, but I didn't actually have like a normal record bag. So got this one in. Might be a little bit hard to tell, but it's a little bit wider. I have a couple of backpacks, like normal backpacks, that can fit a lot of stuff in them. But when I want to bring some vinyl, a lot of times they're too narrow. And if I can get some vinyl in, it might get warped in there. So having a bag for vinyl is something I didn't have anymore. Back in my vinyl days, I had plenty of record bags, but I actually did not have record bags anymore. It's maybe a little bit hard to tell. It has a nice suede finish at the bottom. The rest is all high quality. I think it's like ripstop nylon. Then it has, so like I said, I'm going to do full reviews, but I can only do full reviews once I fully test something, and I haven't done that yet. So you have this front pocket with a lot of little pockets in there, and luckily they made it in a light color so you can see what you actually put in here. My old DJ bags and record bags were all black, so you can never find anything. Just Hack was good. And then they have a top pocket. Let me open that one as well. A nice top pocket. You can either put your headphones in here or some other stuff in there. So nice and basic, but there's still, I like the fact that you have the extra pockets. And there's a GoPro box in there. And there's your room for your vinyl. So I'm going to do a full review later, but finally I have a bag that I can safely put my vinyl in without warping it. I did not have normal record bags anymore. So I'm going to do a full review once I get to actually try it out. So I might just stuff it full of vinyl and start walking around and test it, since there are not a lot of gigs. And when I do have gigs, it's not really going to be vinyl gigs. But still love having a bag like this. I think this one is called the Rhodes. I'm going to get into that as soon as I test it more. Tucker and Bloom. Staying with them though. This is my new favorite bag, so I gotta just drop it in here. No, this is not a record bag. It's not a DJ bag. This is their little like sling messenger bag. This is my favorite joint out right now. I have this with me wherever I go. It's got a little back pocket here, so you can always reach something quick without opening the bag. You got like this locked front pocket, which can hold a little bit of stuff. Orange on the inside, so you can see what you're doing. And most importantly for me, it's just big enough that it can fit my iPad Pro. That alone makes this the winner for me. So again, they do handmade stuff, and I just wanted to give them a shout out, but I'm going to review all of this. All right, I'll get to this one in a sec. But first, let's get back in here. Yeah, Vinyl Touch, indeed. Club DJs were bedroom DJs too. Same here. I was a bedroom DJ. That's how basically all of us start. And it's like some people consider that to be like a derogatory term. Like when you say that, like you mean that someone's not a real DJ or whatever. No, that's not the case. That's your starting point. Selecta Timo, salute, I see you. Hey, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. NG Dogs, what up, what up? Definitely a basement DJ. Hey, I hear you. I used to call my room the basement, even though it wasn't a basement. And Darrell, big ups. Salute. The only time DJ doesn't refer to disc jockeys in Jamaican music. Yes, indeed. That was confusing for a lot of people when they hear that. Where the sound system would play and the guy freestyling on the mic is the DJ. Yes. That's why most dancehall artists consider themselves DJs. Yes, indeed. And the one actually playing the tunes is the selector, right? So that twist. That was a twist for me in the beginning when I first heard it. Like heard people calling themselves DJs. I was like, oh, cool, they're DJs. I'm like, okay, no, that's not it. Got you. Did I miss something? No. Ewan Burnett from Scotland. I see you. And Amin is back. What's good? What's good? Yeah, Wiz, indeed. He's that selector. Real. Let's bring it back. Woody was good. I'm going to DJ for a friend's birthday and it's your first gig. Okay. Scared the crowd won't dance to the music selection. Nervous. Can you give me advice? Well, first off, try to find out. And I mean, it's, yeah, okay. For a moment, I was in wedding mode, but it's a birthday. So it's your friend. And you can find out what kind of people are coming. Now, I don't know. If it's your friend, could it be that you are like going to be in the same circle of friends as other people that are there? So are you going to know people at that birthday party? Probably. If you have a couple of people you know, it's already going to be a little bit more familiar for you. That's what I'm saying. So it's not like it's a complete crowd of strangers. But research. So find out, okay, who's coming to the party? Your friend should be able to tell you what kind of people they are. Maybe ask their friend, do you know what type of music they like? That type of prep can help you out so you at least don't show up with like a selection of songs that nobody wants to hear. You at least want to make sure you are in the right lane when it comes to the genres so that you at least have the right genres there. Then you're on the right track. So get some more information. That's the first thing I could say. All right, Scratch says, I've been mixing great with my PC alone. Watch 90% of the sessions. Order the Flex 6. Upgrade my style with the Flex 6. A good choice to start with. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a step above an entry-level controller. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so Woody, you're going to know some people there. I said Woody. I see now that it's Woody. All right. You're going to know some people there. So first off, you already have a couple of friends there. That's a plus. That's a plus already, because now you have a little bit of a support system. I mean, those are not people that are going to boo you unless they're the shitty type of friends that like to mess with you. But no, I mean, you should be okay. Just find out, if you can, what type of people are there. What type of genre should you at least make sure that you bring? And beyond that, it's not like it's a club. It's a birthday party. You should be fine. If you had to pick a record pool, what would be your pool of choice that you would go to first? I mean, if you're asking me, I use DJ City. But I mean, that's not 100% objective because I work with DJ City. But I can actually like officially approve that record pool. They're dope. But some people might be looking for a different type of selection than they have. So, I mean, there's other DJ pools that I've never checked out. So I have no idea what they have. Let's see. NG Dog says, I'm thinking about taking my setup to a park, just play my music, just to share what I do out of the basement. Have you ever done something like that? No. I guess kind of like a street performer. Make sure you do it in a place where you know street performers normally actually perform. Not the exact same spot, but I mean, it's different in different places. But in a lot of places, you can't just start playing music or perform music in public. So you don't want to be out there for 5 minutes and have the cops all over you like, hey, where's your license? Do you have a license to play here? So find out if you can actually do that there. No, I've never really done that. So, I mean, it sounds kind of like exciting to do something like that. But if it's a place where you have random type of people, yeah, the response could be all over the place. It's a fun experiment, though. Lucan, what's going on? And that's DJ Lucan. I see you. All right, so Mixmaster G says that's exactly what Mike Marquez did during the pandemic. He played from different spots in NYC no matter the weather. Yeah, I did see a couple of DJs do that, like randomly go outside because no one had gigs and they were like, yeah, I want to play. And some people would actually just set up in some location and do it. I also saw some people do stuff online that looked staged, like it looked like they were doing it spontaneously, but I'm not sure if it was. And some did it with like entire setups and film crews and you name it. But yeah, as a beginner, certain pools ask for accomplishments and proof of DJ as a beginner. Which pool is better? I mean, I know they do it, but I'm actually not sure if they check. I know when I first did it, like the first DJ pools I found, like digital DJ pools way back, they were asking for which clubs you play at, which radio stations you play at. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I could name clubs in Amsterdam. How are they going to check who's doing what? I don't believe that there's people at DJ pools that are going to actually try to research. Just imagine you're somewhere in the country, in the US or somewhere in Europe or somewhere in India, and you just tell them like, yeah, I play at club, whatever. Even if you name an actual club that exists in your city, how are they going to check if you actually play there? I've wondered that. I honestly don't think they check. I think it is actually something they do to cover themselves. Like, hey, if people want to know, they can say like, hey, we only serve DJs. Look, they told us they're DJs and this is where they play. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Chris on the mix, salute. Nana Nick in the building. What up, Nick Music from London? What's your take on the new MacBook Pro or 16 for DJing? Overpowered. I mean, for DJing, they can handle anything you throw at them. So would you need something like that for DJing? Oh, look, Mixmaster G, we're on that same wavelength right now. You're actually saying the same thing. Yeah, you definitely don't need it. But, I mean, they're incredibly powerful. But if it's just for DJing, so let's just get that straight. If you want to get a laptop just for DJing, I wouldn't recommend one of those computers unless you have a lot of money and you don't mind spending money, because they are expensive. Now, are they worth the price? Yeah, I think so. I mean, with the power they have, and if you love working with Mac, sure, I get it. Not just for DJing, though. It would have to be for DJing and music production and video editing and the whole nine. Otherwise, it's too much power. You don't need that much. But they look dope, though. How was my first gig? Okay, so let me see. What would I consider my first gig? My first gig would have been when I played at a local youth center. That was my first official gig. So in your case, you're talking about a birthday for a friend. Is that at the friend's house or is this at a venue? So I started at home, always practicing at home. I had people come over here. People used to hear me. I did take my records and sometimes even the entire setup to some friends' houses a couple of times. And we had our own little house party. So that was basically a gig, but I don't consider that like an official gig. But that was playing for people. But in this case, it was for playing for friends and some people you didn't know. So my first gig was at the local youth center. I was paid, I think I got 50 guilders at the time. So that translates to like, converts to like 20 euros, something like that. And I was playing together with two other DJs. This was called the Ghetto Jam. Yes. And they had an R&B DJ. They had a dancehall DJ. And then I was the hip hop DJ. I got that gig because we used to do freestyle sessions at my house, in my room. I was DJing. There were a couple other people that would also play records. And if you were not DJing and you were in my room, you had to freestyle. So you had to rap. And people would come over. Like, I met different MCs that way as well. And there were a couple of guys that had their own dancehall group. They were all MCs, DJs that were talking dancehall. And they would come over and they brought one of their friends. And he was actually a DJ. And he played dancehall. And he was playing at that Ghetto Jam. And he asked me if I wanted to come play there as well, because he heard me spin here. That first gig was great to me. Now, at that time, I mean, I can say I knew how to play. I knew how to play. I knew how to use my gear. I knew my music. And I was not afraid to play for people, even though this was the first time playing in an actual venue. It was a youth center, but it was actually a pretty nice spot. They had like an actual DJ booth and a dance floor, good sound system. After like just putting the first track on and hearing something come out the speakers that you love loudly, oh yeah, I was sold. And the crowd was dope because it was a hip hop, R&B, dancehall crowd. So I played the track, got a good reaction, never looked back. I was like, okay, because in the beginning, I had no dreams of going to clubs and playing for people that way. But once you experience that and you get that feedback, yeah, that was a good one. Larry Patterson in the building, salute. And yeah, Mixmaster D says it like the MacBook Air is more than enough for DJing. Yes, indeed. And let's see. Hey, Ray, what's going on? Yes, Ray, the LinkedIn posts do show up here, indeed. That's the only thing that Mixcloud really needs to work on. I'm using Restream. I get YouTube, I get Twitch, I get Facebook in here, I get LinkedIn in here. I'm pretty sure Twitter shows up because Periscope used to show up as well. So they all appear in one chat app. The only one I have to check separately on my phone is Mixcloud. So it would be so cool if that one would appear in here as well. But yeah, Ray, talk to you soon. Let's see. I find mixing in key strictly a bit difficult. I mean, I personally don't really focus on mixing in key. When I have my music sorted in my software, it's sorted according to BPM. And I use my ears to hear if something totally clashes musically. And if I know I'm going to do like longer blends, then it's a cool thing to maybe look at key. Or in some of the software, you can even sync the keys as well. But I'm not focusing that much on key. It is not the most important thing. If you play music where you always do long transitions, where you're playing songs together for like 16, 32 bars, then it becomes a lot more interesting to make sure you're mixing in key. But when I'm doing hip hop and R&B transitions that will last tops 8 bars, sometimes even shorter, especially when I'm mixing, because if I'm doing an 8-bar transition, probably after 4 bars, I'm already grabbing one of the 2 records and start to cut with them. It's not as important. Let's see. Also, I started to create a crate for the gig and some nice music, but although they have the same BPM or similar in key, they don't match. Do I have to mix and key? Or I'm not sure if I understand that one yet. Let me get back to that. Durrell says, how would you suggest to start knowing your music? I mean, it's a good question. The answer is actually simple. Listen to your music. It is as simple as that. Knowing your music means that it's not just that you know the title and that if you see the title, you know, oh yeah, that's the song with that hook. No. You actually know the song. So you know that the song starts with a particular type of intro. You know that the song has a verse and then it's an 8-bar hook, but you also know that the hook after that is tricky because it's only 4 bars. Or you at least know that, oh yeah, that's that track that has that dope break after 2 minutes. Stuff like that. Stuff that you learn just by listening to your music. And I mean, I might be taking it a little bit too far. You don't have to remember the structure of each song. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying it helps you to prevent certain mistakes. I actually just did. I did this. I talked about this in my last 2 podcast episodes. So make sure you check out my podcast. Episode 87 was about selecting tracks. And episode 88 is about preparing those tracks. And in both those episodes, I talk about listening to your music just to make sure you can prevent mistakes. A lot of times in the past when I would go to buy new music, I was at the record stores like 3 times a week and I would listen to new music. Now, as a DJ in a record store, when you're listening to new tracks, you basically, I mean, let's not say DJs, I would have the headphones on, put the needle on the record, and within the first 10, 20 seconds, I could hear if the record was something I wanted to play or not. So I would not be listening to entire songs at the record store because I have a stack this big that I have to go through. So I picked the songs that sound dope. Sometimes I didn't get a chance to actually listen to the total song before I had to play at the club that night. And what would happen sometimes is I would start playing a song. All right, it starts, you have the first verse, then you have that first hook, and that first hook or first chorus was 8 bars. Cool. I'll let it play for another verse. After that, I'm going to do my transition. I'm expecting another 8-bar hook. And this track had a 4-bar hook at its second hook. I hadn't heard that part yet. So that surprised the hell out of me in the middle of my transition because all of a sudden verse 3 starts. So if you know your music, those are the little things you run into. Let's see. So, yeah, Ray, I've heard about that. And I think what Mixmaster G is saying is correct. I believe that when you become a partner, that's when they start to give you trouble about streaming to multiple platforms. I'm not totally sure. I'm only an affiliate. I've never had this issue. If this would ever become an issue, I would probably not do this live stream here and just do the mix live stream on Twitch. But up until this point, it doesn't seem to be a problem. I'm going to have to scroll up for a second. But first, I'm going to read this question. The chat is continuing. It's going a little bit fast. Dave Bonnie, ik kom zo op je vraag terug. Hold up, let me scroll up for a second. Just to make sure I'm not missing out on anything. Mixcloud still cool? Yes, it is. Woody says, dancehall music require key mixing. I mean, the way I play dancehall, no. No, a lot of times when I was playing or when I play dancehall, I might play like 2 or 3 tracks from the same rhythm. So they are the same, they have the same instrumental, same key. And my transitions are pretty short. It's not that important. So yeah, like Wiz is saying, that's the same thing I was saying. Like I didn't mention like house styles, but styles where yes, you have less vocals and where you do longer transitions. Like with dancehall, you're not doing long transitions most of the time. Same with hip hop and R&B. So Ray, if it does affect affiliate status, I'll find out sooner or later. I've been restreaming since last year on Twitch. I mean, I've never heard anything from them, so I think I'm safe when it comes to that. And Just Hacks is the same thing. Electronic music will be ideally the mixing key because it sounds flawless. Yeah, I agree. All right, Dave, I'm going to read the question and I'm going to translate while I read it just to make sure the rest of the peeps can follow along. So you're a hardcore DJ. You grew up on vinyl and later started to use CDJ. So you do long transitions and now you're using DVS a lot. But when you're trying to adjust just by nudging and breaking, it's not really working. When you break, both tracks slow down. Ooh, that sounds to me like sync is activated or something. Like if you're slowing down one track, it should not affect your other deck. If it's affecting the other deck, then there must be some sort of sync thing activated. That's the only thing I can think of when I read that, because otherwise it should not affect the other track. That's pretty weird indeed. Yeah. You need to check that indeed if sync is somehow activated. So Chris on the mix says what I said, like you don't need to mix in key, use your ears more than focusing on the key. Key just helps you to see what might mix together. Your ear will tell you if it really does. Here's the thing, I have to add this caveat because I agree that works for me. But, and I think we all know this, not everyone has the same sense of rhythm and not everyone has the same sense of musicality. I've played with DJs before and I've done mix projects with DJs before where we would do a mixtape and multiple DJs would like contribute with a short mix. So we would have like 6 DJs and they all would do like a 10-minute or 15-minute mix. I've heard several DJs do transitions, either live and on those mixes, where they would have a track playing and then they bring in a new track and that bass line is so off key compared to the track that was playing. In my ears, the clashing of the keys is so obvious. But that DJ chose to do that transition. And when I mentioned it, like, hey, those two tracks, the bass line, it's really clashing. DJ did not really see my point and thought I was talking about EQ. So clearly that DJ did not hear the key clash. So that is the thing. So I agree. I hope and think a lot of us will hear it if 2 songs don't sound right. Maybe you hear 2 songs and something doesn't sound right, but you can't really place it. It might be the keys that are conflicting. So yeah. But for the rest of us, we will probably hear it. Dave said, okay, mixed message. Yeah, mixed message, you saying the same thing. Sounds like sync is activated. Mo Berry, what's good? Good day. Unreal DJing, what's up? What's up? Literally, whatever you buy that you don't know by heart yet, put it on your phone and listen to it on the go. It takes 8 bars to decide if you want to buy a track, but a good couple of listens know a track well enough to play it in a set. Yes, a rule I religiously break in my streams. Same here. Sometimes when I do have the chance to make like a crate for my Crates Mix show, and I use Beat Source and pick a lot of new tracks, I don't always have the chance to have the time, the opportunity to listen to the entire songs. And one of two things is going to happen. Either it feels a little less comfortable when I'm doing the mix, or I see the title and I scroll by it because it's just not stuck in my system yet. So yeah, I totally agree. Oh, Ray, for real? Larry, do I put cue points on all my tracks? That is what I should do, and those who follow me know a lot of times I do not do it. Not because I don't want to, because I just didn't have the time to do it when I started my set. But yes, I prefer to have it, not because I need so many cue points, but it's just so comfortable when I'm, let me get this out of the way. It just feels so comfortable for me that like when I'm queuing up and I can just hit Q to go back instead of having to rewind. It's just faster. Yeah, it's more convenient to do it that way. But a lot of times I'll set my cue points while I'm playing the tracks. Mixmaster G, restreaming for more than a year on Twitch, no problem. Affiliate, yeah, so same here. Dave Bonnie, no sync. Oh, okay. Wow. And you adjust one track and the other one also slows down. Het is vreemd, ouwe. Yeah. Let's see. It doesn't necessarily work for other genres. If you double or triple drop a lot, you have to be in key, or I'm going to show you how precise I am with throwing beer bottles. Okay, maybe it's because it's not my genre. I actually do not know the term double or triple drop. And it's probably something real simple that I'm missing right now. Unreal. Talk to me. So you're not, Dave, you're not using sync, but when the kicks are lined up, I can't get them in the right phrase, the right bar. Master tempo, no, master tempo shouldn't be affecting that, I think. But okay, but this is a different problem than what you mentioned first. Too many DJs mix BPM perfectly, but don't hear keys clashing, and the lather hurts. Yes, like I was saying, like I know some of us hear it, but I've also heard DJs again who clearly do not hear it. I mentioned the bass line. The other times when you can also really tell is when DJs do mashups, and then they add acapellas where we're talking about singing vocals to an instrumental. And the vocals are off key compared to that instrumental. Oof. So if you're going to do something like a mashup, you want to check your keys, because that can sound awful to people who know the original song and who pay a little bit of attention. Even if they're not familiar with the keys, it's going to sound a little bit weird to them. But then again, I also know a lot of people here. I've seen comments on YouTube under bad mashups, and a lot of people were with the fire emojis and loving it. And I was like, oh, wrong key. And the acapella was not placed at the right point. So the timing is off as well. So yeah, a lot of people don't hear what we hear. I think that is what we can agree on. Ashwin, what up? All good over here. Levi, how long did it take you to get used to using your effects button when mixing? I'm having a little bit bits off getting used to it, so I don't use them. I'm the wrong DJ to ask. My name is DJ Echo and Filter, because that's basically all I use. And I use the echo effect mostly when I start to do a little bit of scratching in my transitions. Sometimes I add a little bit of filter in the middle of my transition. But I don't use a lot of effects. I really, really, really don't. All right, let's talk about this in a sec. This baggie right here. Also, I have to do a full review. But that's the thing, man. With the lack of gigs, I haven't been using my equipment enough. Now, I did use this one during the Amsterdam dance event in store. I was able to use this one because it's a special kind of DJ bag. But yeah, I just haven't had a lot of time to use things a lot. Luckily, like with the G-Code needles, I've been doing my vinyl stream, so that at least gave me the opportunity to actually work with those. I'll get into those in a sec. Let me just read these, and then I'm going to talk about that. Go for it, Ray. Get all these platforms going. Okay, just playing 2-3 tracks on top of another. Oh yeah. Of course. Like, yeah. If you're gonna play like if you're gonna work with like 3 or 4 decks and you're gonna have like 3 tracks together, I think you really need to make sure you're mixing in key. Otherwise, it's gonna get ugly really fast. Salvatruch was good. Good to see you. Just hack. If any of you had problems with a song playing and the BPM just jump up 80 to 150 plus and then goes back to 80? What, in the middle of playing it? No, I don't think so. Can you please provide some tips on how to effectively practice DJing? Wow. No. Not because I don't want to. First off, it's a very broad question. And just speaking from personal experience, I did not have a set practice regimen. I would just be DJing anytime I had time. And I would do different things. So I would just mix. So first off, you have to learn how to do transitions. So I was just learning how to beat match, just playing songs, trying to mix them, trying to get the BPMs right. And once that started to work, I started to add EQ. In the beginning, I wasn't even using EQ. I was only focused on trying to get these 2 songs to play in sync. And I would take a cassette deck and I would step behind the decks. I would start DJing for 45 minutes, record it on tape. Then I would sit and I would listen to my recording. Now, you don't need to use a cassette deck. You can just use your computer or find a way to record. So then you can hear what you're actually doing, because sometimes when you're doing it, it's a little bit harder to hear. When I would listen back to my recordings, I could sometimes tell like, oh, wow, I did not pay attention to the levels. That second track was way too loud. And then the next one was actually not loud enough. So I need to pay more attention to that, focus on that more. When it came to scratching, I just started practicing a scratch. And once that started to feel comfortable, I started to practice more scratches. And I didn't have tutorials. I was listening to albums, hip hop albums on tape, hearing the DJs on those songs do scratches, and I would try to emulate those scratches. So I mean, that's real hard for me to say like, hey, if you start like this, the only thing I can say is do make sure that you actually start with the fundamentals and make sure you have those on lock. So actually start by learning how to count music and start by learning how to match those beats, working on timing, understanding beats, bars, phrases, the structure of songs. If you start with the fundamentals and you get those right, all of the other things will make more sense. And a lot of people just want to go too fast. They see DJs do something and they want to do that. Fresh fruit was good. Yeah. So what Fresh Fruit says, I have had that once. So he said, I've had it with Serato. When I hit sync, the BPM drops 50% at times. So I've had a situation once or twice, and I don't remember if it was Record Box or Serato, where I was messing around with the sync, and for some reason it didn't just match it, but it went for the double tempo. So it went to a totally different tempo. Yeah, Ray, indeed. The new, you know what? Let's get into that right now. I see a couple more messages. We'll get to those in a sec. So yes, indeed, this is a new, well, fairly new. It's been out for a little while now. Magma bag. And this one right here is called the Solid Blaze. And this is the Solid Blaze 120, if I'm not mistaken. And it has that name because this was made using 120 plastic bottles. I see more and more brands getting into that, trying to think a little bit more about sustainability, environment, and recycling and all that goodness. So it is a DJ bag. I like the look of it. I like the size because I have a bag that's bigger than this one, and for certain occasions that one is a little bit too big. That's my jetpack bag, the big one. What's that called? The jetpack bag Prime, the big version. That is like a little bit bigger and bulkier than this one. So this one's a little more slimmed down, but you can still fit a lot into it. Sorry about that. I need to stay by the mic. So all right, made out of 120 plastic bags. As you can see already, you have a lot of pockets going on. It's not waterproof, but it's definitely weatherproof. Always a good thing because this is made to carry equipment. Now, it can withstand a lot of water. I'm pretty sure of that, but I just think a lot of times they can't actually call something waterproof because waterproof would mean that you could actually submerge this underwater and your stuff would be safe. That's not the case, but they do have like weather sealing on their zippers. So you are going to definitely be pretty safe. Now, this one is actually a little bit deeper than you think, but it does fall inside the main compartment of the bag. So if you put a lot in here, you're going to have a little bit less room inside the bag, but it's always good to have those outside pockets for certain stuff. Then you have this compartment here. They have like this clamshell opening for that with, I like extra zippers because it makes sure that my stuff is not going all over the place. And you have separated compartments here. I'm just starting with the outside of the bag first. They have the little side pockets. So on this side, you see that with more bags. I have another bag that has this as well. This is a USB port, meaning that you can have, you can add some power to this little bad boy. So just put a bank inside of it and connect it to this, and then you can charge your phone or anything else without even opening the rest of the bag. So I have another bag that does that. Always pretty cool. Then you have your little side pocket, and this does not go into the bag. So this is for little stuff, pens, and you name it. Keys. I haven't got around to use any of that yet. On the other side, it's the same thing. Also, you could use this maybe for a water bottle, but it's not that big. But you can fit a little bottle in there. So let's get to that top. Let's get to the top. So like I said, it's a DJ bag, but this one is a little bit different because it is modular. So again, you have this like clamshell opening. But as you can see right now, I've set this up to be a camera bag. So this is made to fit a mixer. You can fit a full-size mixer in here, but you also get all of these dividers. And I used this during my in-store at Amsterdam dance event, and this bag was basically my camera bag. So I had my GoPros in here. I actually had the GoPros in that little box you just saw. So I have both of the GoPros in this one. And I just put that in the front pocket. I might do a video to show my setup that I brought. I had this in here, and I had the ATEM Mini Pro in here as well. They both fit in here, and that kept them nice and safe. But so as you can see, I have all these dividers here. So I had also a bunch of different stuff in here. It's not in here now. I had cables in here. I had like all sorts of different clamps because I didn't know how I was gonna set up the GoPros at that store. I did even bring this camera pouch that has my M50. M50's not in here now, but that normally carries my M50 and my mic. I just thought if I want to do some behind the scenes vlogging, I'll have an extra cam there. But you can set it up in multiple ways. So you could also just take all the dividers out and then put a mixer in there, or maybe a portable turntable. Or if you have a smaller device, you can still use dividers. I mean, you can do all sorts of things with that. And then you have these big pouch-like bags here. Oh, there it is. There's my T5. I was looking for that. And this is the one. This is the outside part. So that's pretty cool. And again, I like the fact that it's just a little bit more slim compared to my bigger jetpack bag. Now, the jetpack bag I can use for other stuff because it also fits a mixer. But for instance, that one can also fit a DJJ 400. That did not fit into this one. All right, so that is this bag. But you have this zipper here. And you can use the zipper here. And if I take this zipper all the way around the bag, which I'm not going to do now, I think. Should I do it now? Or is the other side? I mean, no, I'm not going to do it. But if you unzip this all the way around, you can actually extend the bag and make it a little bit bigger. So pretty cool. And not to forget, always important, you got your handles here. But in the back, we have another compartment. Yes. Over here, you can have more cables here. You can put your laptop in here. You can put your iPad here. You can put vinyl in these as well. So what else is in here? Yes, made from 120 recycled half-liter plastic bottles. That was it. Water repellent shells. So not waterproof, water repellent. So overall, a real nice bag to use for DJ purposes or videographer purposes. So in my case, a lot of times I have to bring video gear as well. And then this can be either a video bag or DJ bag. But I like that one. So again, these are not reviews, just showing you the stuff. Once I use it more, I'll get into it. Patrick Morgan, yup. Let's see. It's also super fun to just do a whole library sort by root key and BPM. Then play a whole set of that, but you need to have meticulously maintained tags for that to work. Yeah, tags is still my biggest weakness. Really need to work on that. And I appreciate that follow. But yeah, that is the cool thing though. Like if you do every once in a while step out of your comfort zone, if you're used to sorting by BPM and you sort by key, you will find that there's going to be some combinations that you never thought of doing before. And then you hear those songs together and you're like, oh, that's like literally music to your ears. Like it sounds really good. TLM has great vids on how to count music. Yes. No, I mean that. I mean, it's so funny to me. Like that video is still, I still get so many positive responses to that video to this day. Made that video in 2000. I think that was 11 or no, I made that in 13. So like 8 years ago. And somehow that video, the way I explained it really connected with people because a lot of people told me they watched like tons of videos about counting. And this was the first video that made it clear for them. So I'm happy that video was able to help a lot of people. And I had to make that video actually not really understanding how to explain it before I made the video. I knew how to count music. It came kind of natural to me also because of my drumming background. But I never even talked about beats, bars, and phrases before I made that video. So before I made that video, I made sure I had all of the terms down. So I was going to explain it the right way. And that worked out. They're called fundamentals for a reason. Yes, indeed. Robert Lewis was good. Have you been streaming for a long time? But still not popular? Come to Stream Skill Pro. Receive the results immediately after ordering the promotion. Guys, don't go for the this fast, that fast shortcut. It's just not the way to go. It's just not the way to roll. It isn't. It really isn't. We can do a full video talking about stuff like that. Either if it's like a get rich fast or get popular fast. Fast is not the way to go. Don't forget to enjoy that journey. That's the journey. A lot of times is the biggest part of the entire story. You want to make sure that part is fun. Oh, well. So, yeah, Mixmaster G says the BPM drops usually indicates bad beat grid. I believe that for sure. So sometimes you have to indeed, like Wiz is saying, you have to adjust your analyzing setup or settings to change the BPM range. That could help indeed. What would you say about biting off of other DJs' playlists? Well, it depends. It depends. If biting off of another DJ's playlist means that you hear another DJ play and they play a couple of songs and you hear them do a blend between two songs, you really like that blend, so you're like, oh, cool, I'm gonna do that too. Or you hear them playing a couple of songs in their set and you're like, yeah, I think I want to play those songs in my set as well. I mean, that is basically more like inspiration. We can call it that. Or are you just going to play the exact playlist another DJ played? I mean, then you're just totally copying it. I don't know. I mean, I've never been too scared of that, or it hasn't really interested me. If you take all of the DJs that are in the chat right now and we all get the exact same playlist to use, our sets are not going to sound the same. Now, of course, you're going to hear the same music, but our sets are not going to sound the same. You can actually tell, like you can tell who's who when you start to do that. You're gonna get like a little bit of a division between like, okay, these are the more creative DJs, or these are the DJs that can add their own flavor to something. I mean, yeah, I personally don't really mind. Like, if I would do a set and I would hear another DJ do my set, which is not easy unless you have a certain amount of skill, and that's not to say I'm such a great DJ, but if you see my streams and you see the style that I play, you can't copy it just by mixing the same songs. If you want to emulate me, you're going to have to incorporate all the little things I do when I'm playing. So if someone's going to play the exact same set I play, but doesn't play it the way I play it, it's not going to sound the same. So that makes a difference. But if your set is kind of generic, meaning the only thing you do is you match the BPM either manually or by sync, and you just mix from track to track to track, then some DJ could actually copy your exact set and do it the same way. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I indeed, Mixmaster G is talking about it, like the dynamic grids and auto analysis, and I'm gonna let y'all continue that conversation right there. So many Magma bags here, and I still want both the 120 and the 80. Just so good. Yeah, I think the 80 would be really dope too, just because of the form factor is going to be a little bit smaller. Like I said, like I have a bigger DJ bag, so having something that was a little bit smaller but can still fit a mixer with the 120 here, I think, yeah, I mean, I really like that. Now, the Jetpack bag is a dope bag. It's a really dope bag, but it is bigger, bulkier, also heavier. So now a lot of times, if I'm going to have gigs where I need to do some filming and DJing, I'll probably have the combo of those two bags, and they can fit like almost everything I need to bring. I did that for the in-store gig as well. Never let your T5 travel without the USB cable, because those are kind of scarce. What was so special about that USB cable? Let me know. I mean, yes, I still have it. But I have like a ton of the USB-C cables. So let me know, because if there is something extra special, I need to make sure I find the right one. Even though this is not the one I use most of the times now, I still use it, but oh, by the way, since we're on the subject of just talking about stuff, this right here, yeah, no, I'm going to use the other cam. This right here is also by the company I was talking about, Tucker and Bloom. This is their like tech pouch. It is pretty big, but I like it a lot if I have to carry a lot of stuff. And this one has a lot of stuff, even stuff that doesn't need to be in the DJ bag or in the tech bag. But it has cables in here, but the entire inside is made of a material that works with Velcro. So all of my cables in here have straps on them. And if you put them in there, they stick. So this entire lot here, it stayed in the exact position it was because it just sticks to the sides of the bag. Now, of course, this doesn't stick to the side of the bag, and something like this flash drive doesn't stick. But the rest of the stuff, it will stay right there where it is. So that is super convenient to just make sure that all the cables stay exactly where they are. But okay. I'm actually using this one right here now more than my T5. But they both still work great. So let's see if Mixmaster G already came through with that USB info. I still need to make a video about my babies as well, though. A lot of y'all know these already. Wireless Go 2. We'll get into that in hopefully I can make a video about that soon. Those who tune in later, this is the episode where I'm answering questions, but I'm also talking about stuff that I still need to review and that I've been using or I haven't used that much. Black Bastard, welcome to Death Row. Levi says, do certain kind of speaker cables make your music sound better, or doesn't it matter? There is a difference in quality when it comes to cables. There is. Now, I think, I'm not a cable expert. You're going to have your like budget cables. Then you're going to have a set that's in the middle. And then you're going to have like the highest quality cables. I think in the middle, you're going to be pretty good. Top quality cables might give you or transfer the audio with better quality. But I think it also kind of depends on where's the audio coming from and where's it going to. If you're playing on a shitty DJ set with bad quality, yeah, the speaker quality, the speaker cable quality is not going to matter that much. Or if you're going to some speakers that can't really give you quality audio, it's going to be less interesting. Like if you have great quality, like high-end speakers, get better cables. I mean, that's the way I would approach it. When using DVS, how to keep songs in sync without using sync when doing a blend. That right there is the entire definition of mixing by ear. So, and that it doesn't matter if you're using DVS or if you're using a controller or if you're using vinyl. If you have sync turned off, you're going to have to first match the beats. So make sure they're playing at the same tempo. And then when you start your transition, you listen. And if they're not playing in sync anymore, or you can hear that they're running out of sync, they're not playing exactly in sync, you're going to have to make adjustments. So either you're going to have to nudge it forward if the track needs to be a little bit faster, or you're going to have to hit the brake on the side of your platter to slow it down a bit. Now, when you give it that little nudge, you also have to adjust the tempo a little bit, probably, because if it's not staying in sync with the other one, then it's not playing fast enough. If it's getting ahead of the other one and it's playing too fast, so you give it a little break and you have to turn the tempo down a little bit. That's mixing. That is mixing. So if you're mixing by ear, that's what you need to do. That's how you keep them in sync. Darrell, did you maybe use a link or something? I'm only seeing what would you to the and what would you say about, but nothing else. I really like my UDG bags. I actually have a bunch of those as well. I used to, I still have them. I used to use the Creator bags by UDG. They had these special Serato bags. I used to use those to carry my mixer, vinyl. I have a bigger one and a little bit smaller one. But the only thing about those, like I was saying when I showed the bags, like the Tucker and Bloom bag, it had like the light color inside. My Jetpack bags there had like bright orange on the inside, which means you can actually see stuff in there. Those UDG bags were all black, inside, outside, everything black. Sometimes in the club, when I had to go underneath the booth, open up my bag because I was looking for a plug or cable in that black on black bag, that was hell. Even though the one Creator bag by UDG I had, it actually had a light in there, which was actually pretty dope. When you would open the bag, it would activate the light, and then you could see inside your bag. But after a while, the battery died and light died. Okay, where you do DJs at? Just hack. Why are you speaking Yoda language? Where you do DJ at? Let me see what you mean by that. Oh, someone is always going to bring something different on a different table. Yeah. What would you say about copying DJs playlist for your own use? Is that unethical DJ wise? I mean, yeah, if you're going to take an entire playlist, you can call it biting. I mean, personally, I just don't really care about that for the explanation I gave. I mean, they're not going to do it the same way I'm doing it. So, Mixmaster G, the reason why I explained it the way I did is because if you say ride the pitch, there's a good chance someone doesn't know what you mean. I know what you mean. Some DJs will. Other DJs won't know what you say when you say ride the pitch. That's why I actually gave the explanation like, hey, if it's playing too fast, you have to slow it down, and et cetera, et cetera. But yes, for sure. So yeah, Jarrell, I'm just not focused on that. I don't even see why I would want to copy an entire playlist unless, let's say you're still a bedroom DJ. You hear a DJ do a dope set. It sounds amazing to you. You want to learn how to do that. And now you're going to take that routine, that set as practice material. You're going to try to emulate that set to learn the skills you need to make the set sound the same. That's practice purpose. That's perfectly fine to me. If you're going to take an entire playlist to DJ with, I personally wouldn't feel too dope about doing that. I want to play what I want to play, not some DJ's playlist. Yeah, so just hack. Yeah, indeed. Like maybe you're playing the same set if you have the same music, but different techniques, for sure. For the same reason, I will tell you everything about the visuals I make. Why keep secrets? You're gonna run with the stuff and make something new. That's maybe gonna teach me in turn. Knowledge is for sharing, and so is music. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like I said, with the same music, if we all use the same music, our sets are going to sound different. You can give people visuals. They're not going to use them, implement them in the exact same way that you do. Your setup is sick, by the way. That's a different story. But I agree. I never felt that way. Like when over the years people started to approach me, DJs started to talk to me, a lot of times they were telling me like, hey, it's so dope that you share. A lot of DJs here won't give me information or they won't tell me this. At first, I didn't even really understand that. It was kind of mind-boggling to me. Like, okay, why not? But let's remember, like back in the vinyl days, if we go back, I'm talking hip-hop now. I don't know how it went down in the house scene, but like the hip-hop DJs were taping off the label so other DJs could not see which track they were playing. At that time, that was a different mindset. And like the term biting is also something you get from hip hop. Like back in the days, everyone needed to be original. You couldn't do what someone else was doing. I'm not saying that that's cool now, but it is a different era. I never felt I couldn't share something because of the reason I just gave you. Same way I can talk about anything I do. Like, hey, what equipment am I using for my stream? Like people ask me quite often, actually, like, hey, what camera are you using? What sense would it make for me to be like, okay, let me not share that I'm using a GoPro because then they're going to get a GoPro and then they're going to have better image quality. How does that affect me? It doesn't. It doesn't. All it does is it elevates the entire platform, which is a good thing. It brings more value to what all of us are doing. So yeah, I agree. That's why the motto is still share the knowledge. That's why I'm doing Share the Knowledge live right here. And I'm learning every week as well. Hey, Queen Caesar. Where do you see yourself / DJ career in the next 5 years? I can honestly say that in 5 years, I will most likely be DJing in clubs a lot less. I can also say that most likely if I'm DJing, or even if I am DJing a lot, it's only going to be gigs that I really want to do. I'm going to be cherry picking them if there's a lot. And if there's not a lot, then I'm just not doing a lot of gigs in clubs. And most likely I'll still have a nice spot for myself where I enjoy myself with streams. And beyond that, I'll be doing a lot more when it comes to all of this type of stuff, content creation. That's really where my heart is at. I still love DJing to the fullest. I'm currently just not really in love with the club scene and what's being played in the clubs. Now, mind you, clubs are just opening up here, so I have to really check a lot more. But we had a quick gig during Amsterdam dance event. Brainpower and myself, Brainpower, the MC out of Amsterdam that I tour with, that I've been touring with for 23 years now. We had a quick gig during Amsterdam dance event in like this packed club. They were more packed than they were supposed to be, which did not make me feel comfortable. Not because of the people, but because of the current situation we're in. Especially because you're playing for a lot of younger people there, a lot of non-vaccinated people, super crowded, no ventilation. That didn't make me feel really comfortable. But I was also hearing the DJs play before we did our quick 10-minute set, and I wasn't really feeling the music that the people were into. So it just didn't give me a feeling of, oh yeah, this is where I need to be. So in 5 years, I'm going to be sure that when I'm DJing, it's going to be cherry picked stuff that I really want to do. Beyond that, I want to focus a lot more on content creation, a lot more on educational stuff, and some things I'm not even going to talk about right now, even though I'm looking ahead 5 and more than 5 years. Just don't want to talk about everything yet. DJ Aw says, I have a T5, it always disconnects. Never had that issue. Oh, Mixmaster G, got you. I thought it was like a special USB-C to USB-C cable. I got you. Yes. I think for me, it's going to be the same thing. Are my USB cables anywhere near here? No, it's into the other room. Yeah, I for sure, I probably have, if we take 50 cables, it's probably going to be like 48 USB-C to A and 2 C to C. But luckily, because I have that other drive, that also came with a C to C. So I have 2, and I know I have like 1 or 2 more. Yeah, so like my T5 is also very reliable. So it sounds more like something is wrong with your cable or the connection, because that's what I love about both of these. Not just the fact that they're like super small. These things are durable. Also because we're not dealing with moving parts anymore. I know I can drop these and not a lot's going to happen. Now this one is even a little bit more rugged compared to this one. But I've had this one for I don't know how many years, and it still works just fine. This one is, the only thing is the form factor is a little bit different. It's longer, but it's a little bit smaller, a little bit less wide. But yeah, it's a little bit faster than the T5 though. Let's see. All right, good tip right here. If you're on a PC, check your USB selective suspend settings. I still need to check that because every once in a while, while I'm working on the studio computer, I hear a USB disconnect sign. Even though I don't see anything changing. I still see all my drives and stuff, but something is disconnecting and then it connects again. And yes, Mixmaster G, thank you. That is a good one indeed. Like speaker cable quality comes into play when the cables get longer. Indeed, like if you have to go a long distance, you're going to lose quality with budget cables. Christian Kumar was good. What do you prefer, the Rain 72 Mark II or the DJM S11? So I've not used the Mark II, and still I can say S11. For the simple fact that I prefer the workflow on the Pioneer mixers. Also because I'm more used to it, but I just prefer that workflow. I have the 72 Mark I. I don't have the S11, but I had it here for quite some time. I have the S9. I still have the S7 here. And I just prefer, I feel most comfortable with the Pioneer mixers. The way they have their onboard effects, the way I trigger stuff, that just feels the most comfortable to me. But the Rain 72 is a beast as well. So the Mark II must be as well. So it is a personal preference thing. I know a lot of people, if they're on Rain, they prefer Rain. They're used to that. But for me, I'm just too used to Pioneer. Moberry says UDG is not water repellent. Yeah. But do you remember? No, maybe you don't remember. I don't. It depends on which bag you had. You know what? Let me grab that one. Check. Yeah, we're going to have a bag party now. Bag party, bag party. All right. UDG. Let me see. Because one is a little bit bigger. Yeah, this is the bulkier one. This is the older one. I can tell because this one, all of the zippers broke. I mean, the zippers still work, but they don't have their little attachments to hold them. Those all broke on this one, but I do still have a set of new ones I can put on here. But okay, these bags are pretty similar. I need the big boy. So it had a ton of bags on it as well. Front pocket, little side pockets. Then you could open that one up. Had a ton of space here. You could put like headphones, extra stuff in here. But as you can see, like black on black on black. So if you're looking in here, it is hard to find your stuff. But I could fit like a ton in this bag. Second compartment. It's a little compartment. That was just for vinyl. So you could put vinyl in here. But okay, that's not what we're here for. I'm just going to show it real quick. And Levy, I see you. I have no experience when it comes to speakers. So if someone in the chat knows PV speakers, talk to Levi. See how annoying this is? I have to really put my hand in here because I can't grab anything. But okay, so you could put your mixer in there. Black on black. Can't see anything. Could put your laptop and mixer in there. Blah, 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 blah. All work great. And then you even had the back part where you could put more vinyl. Again, you can't see a lot because it's black on black. But we were talking water repellent. Oh, yeah. And right away, might be a little hard to tell. There's that little light I was talking about. So when you opened the bag, it automatically started to shine and you could see what was in your bag. But when it would rain and it rains a lot here in the Netherlands, especially during this time of year. And I had a gig. This bag came with its own raincoat. So you could actually waterproof your bag. So that was a super dope feature. So you could put it over and tighten it up. I'm not going to do that now, but you could put it all the way over and it would stay on, or you have to go the other way around actually. I'm doing it wrong. It's been 100 years. Right now I'm doing it right. Bang, waterproof bag. All the way waterproof. So that was pretty dope. Just to give you that quick comparison, by the way, this is the jetpack bag I was talking about. So look at that. You can find anything. Even with these settings, I can find anything. This is how all bags need to be. You need to have some color on that inside. But this can hold a mixer. But this one is also high enough that it can hold my DJ 400. So during this little tour I did with Brainpower, where I was triggering videos in Algorithm DJ on my iPad, controlling it with a DJ 400, that 400 would go in here. So this bag is perfect because it's just a little bit bigger. Ton of space in here. See, this is the only bag I can truly show you from the top without lighting issues. Oh, there's still a laptop stand in there, but you could put your laptop in there as well. Ton of room. And then in the back, vinyl, iPad case, Serato, vinyl, CD, sorry. But if you compare it to that Magma, the Magma is a little slimmer. This one is dented in now, but normally it's a little bit fuller. It's just a little bit smaller, little bit. This turned into a bag show. I don't know how that happened. If we ever have a live convo, it'll be 3 hours of us violently agreeing with each other. How many mixers, turntables, and controllers do you own? And what's your favorite piece of equipment to use? House of Twigger says. How many mixers do I own? Let's start with mixers. Because I still have like my old, not all of them, but I still have a bunch of my old mixers that probably don't even work. I mean, I know I have at least 2 mixers here in the studio now that don't work, that I still have. So Vestax, the 05 Pro 2 doesn't work, but it's still here. Right there on top, you see that DJ TLM TV, the old logo. That's my DJ M909. Doesn't work, but I still have them. I still have my 07 Pro. I don't think it works well, but I just still have it. So if you start to count that way, you're going to run into a lot of mixers. So I have this one and the 07, and I have the 05 Pro 4. That's a later version that has MIDI in there. Then I have the S9, and I have the 72 and the Reloop Elite, and I still have my 900 SRT. I mean, it's probably, if you take all the broken ones, it's probably 7, 8 mixers. Turntables, same thing. I still have like a set of PDX 2000s that are not in great condition. At a certain point, I actually got rid of a couple of turntables that were just so worn down, like totally worn out. Just got rid of them. But I still have my PDX 2000s. I have a set of 3000s. I have a set of SL 1200s, of course, still, and V12s or RP 8000. So also quite a few, and a QFO. Let's not forget the QFO. Sven, what's up? But okay, my favorite piece of gear, favorite piece of equipment to use. I would have to say, I'm looking around to see if I see it. I don't know where I put it. I would have to say this is my favorite piece of kit right now. Phase. That for me is the biggest game changer in a while. Absolutely love using it. So yeah. R to R of RDR. How do you start in a song that has a lot going on in the mix at any moment? Dropping on the one makes for a very jarring change, but mixing it makes the mix sound too chaotic. But why does dropping it on the one make for a very jarring change? If you drop on the one and the song that you're bringing in has a tempo that is similar to the track that you were playing before, then there's not really a jarring change there, because you're still staying in the same rhythm, timing. So that's not going to be a big shock to a crowd. I mean, during the hype times, a lot of times I drop on the one a lot, and people really, really don't mind, actually like it. Kind of depends on what song you bring in. If I bring in a totally unknown track, they're going to be more shocked by the fact that they don't know the track than the fact that I dropped it on the one. But if you know that mixing it makes it too chaotic, then don't go for mixing. For sure, don't go for mixing then. Drum 640 was good. And Kalamazoo, I appreciate that follow. And yes, the T7. I don't have that one, but yes. I almost went for the T7, then I went for the SanDisk, but yeah, they're both great. Unreal DJing says, ask me anything. I literally fight Windows power profiles for a living. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Can you review the Pioneer XDJ XZ? Nana Nick. I can see if I can get my hands on one. I mean, I have a good relationship with Pioneer, so maybe. Yeah, I can't guarantee though. Yeah, Mixmaster. I had to go Tupperware for a minute. Stony Loney, what up? What kind of music do you play at a bar for Halloween? I don't know, to be honest, probably the same music you're normally playing. I mean, look, I know a lot of times in bars and clubs and wherever at parties during Halloween, you're going to have like the Halloween theme, but that doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're playing Halloween music. Now, there's some dope edits out there that can add like little spooky sounds, horror sounds in the intro, which will give you like a Halloween vibe. But at the end of the day, you're still basically just rocking a crowd. So it's not like all of a sudden you're playing totally different music. But if you can maybe add a couple of songs that will fit nicely within the theme, get a little thriller intro in there just to get, like I said, some spooky sounds in there, that could probably be cool. But yeah. Beyond that, you're still just playing music for people that want to hear music. Newsflash, Serato just greenlighted macOS Monterey with an explicit warning to check hardware. I also just greenlighted all my tools for Monterey. All right, that's good to know. Shame Monterey didn't exactly greenlight the new camera notch on the MacBook Pro. Seen some vids of broken UI. Yeah. Swen, that's a question that a lot of us had and then stopped having. The question is, what do you think happened to Detox? I remember for years and years and years, people were still like waiting for Detox. And then at a certain point, a lot of us were like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter anymore. Like, I mean, Dre came out with Compton after that, which is a monster album, and you're like, okay, Detox, yeah, that was what it was. You know, maybe we'll hear some songs every now and then. We'll see. But I don't think a lot of people are still like waiting for that to drop. But I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, Unreal DJing. FaZe gets super extra bonus points for me being for being hackable. You can control anything if you set your mind to it. Yes. Hey, John's Entertainment. What's good? What's good? Your name is always so long. I never know which part. If I want to short it, if I want to just shorten it. So I'm going to say DJ Jun is probably where I need to be. Is it Jun or June? I think Jun. So I'm going to go with that. But salute to you. And I mean, I think the customer support, yeah, I mean, the people at FaZe, I mean, FaZe is just a little department inside NWM. And when FaZe first came out, I mean, they were in over their heads. They weren't expecting the hype to be that big, and they weren't actually ready to go yet. And yes, they had issues in the beginning. But, I mean, they managed to overcome. And overall, I hear more and more DJs that now don't have issues anymore. I basically never had the issues. And, yeah, I love working with it. And, I mean, I've talked to the people at FaZe and, like, super nice as well. But, yeah, absolutely, absolutely love it. Sven, I actually understand what you mean when you say we've been there and done that by Dre, that in that production you have a sound that has a little bit of a Halloween quality to it, indeed. Got you, DJ John. Yeah, see, I see a couple of thrillers in there. That's what I said. Like, if you have, like you have that, but also, for instance, I was talking about, for instance, DJ City. I know every year they come out with a set of special Halloween intros. And a lot of times they'll take a couple of new songs and they'll put 8 or 16 bars in front of it and then add some sounds to it to give it like a bit of that horror vibe. So you can always look into that. And Just Hack is sticking with Rihanna Disturbia. There you go. Let's see. Mixcloud, are you still here? Still there, but no questions. Okay, so I'm good. That is good to know. Hey, man, I'm all caught up, and we have like 10 minutes left. I like that. Sometimes you know how it goes. And, yeah, I'm still good here. Joe Max says Halloween is a great opportunity or very good opportunity to play some dark 90s boom bap. Depends on what party you're playing at, though. If it's like just a commercial modern day like young crowd, it might not go over well. But I understand what you're saying. You might be able to go a little bit darker than normal. Have you ever had a crash from Serato DJ Pro? Just curious. Yes, but I never know if it was actually just a Serato issue or a computer issue. Because when that happened, I restarted the computer. First off, just to be sure. And so I'm never sure if it was just Serato or the computer. But I mean, if I've had it happen, for sure. Time to go eat some spicy food while shedding tears. Sounds good. I still need to eat a little bit more too. So I'm finishing this up in the next 10 minutes to get some more food. All right, Mixmaster G says, if Serato crashes repeatedly, it's usually a damaged V2 database. You can delete those and you'll be fine. So that's a great tip. That's good to know. Unreal DJing says it's always a Serato issue. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, depending on what computer you're using, like the The Surface Book 1 that I was using, the DJ, at a certain point I could just tell it can't handle stuff anymore. It used to work great with Serato, but then, for instance, if I started Machine on that computer, it was struggling. And Tractor, it was struggling. Now, Serato was still working, but then with that update with the wireless, no RCA connection, it could not take it at all. But yeah, the thing is, like I'm not even waiting to find out if it is like Serato or the computer. I just make sure I just restart the computer just to be safe. That way I know I'm restarting both of them. Frozen by Madonna is a good Halloween song as well. I mean, yeah, there's going to be songs that have, like, in the production or even in the song title and topic of the track, they could have something that relates to Halloween for sure. You could have a playlist with songs that will fit into the theme, but you would never have to do an entire set based on that. But having some little things in there is always cool. I was busy for a while, missed some sections when you live. Well, luckily you can catch all the replays. So, for instance, the replays for SDK Live, the best way to check those is go to my YouTube channel, DJ TLM TV. You're on YouTube right now. I have a playlist there called SDK Live Replays, and you can catch all of the episodes right there. So that's perfect for that. Trom, that's good to know. Like, one of the batteries bulged, you contacted them, they jumped right on it. Hey man, that's the thing with customer service. You at least want to know that they're trying to work for you. Sometimes when you talk to customer service and they immediately approach it as if you probably did something wrong, that's not a good experience. So, customer service for any company out there, make sure your customer service is on point. That goes a long way. People are willing to deal with a little bit more issues if the customer service is dope. Yeah, Unreal DJ, you're joking. I get it. Mixmaster G says, I always created sets of horror movie samples, quotes, and had and made any track a Halloween track. Yeah, indeed. You can just add that little spice to turn it into a Halloween set. But at the end of the day, you're going to be playing the music that the crowd is going to enjoy. I did a couple of Halloween parties, and I don't think I ever did too much. I think I had like a couple of those edits once, used like one or two. Beyond that, yeah, not really. All right. Even though no one's asking, I'm just gonna just jump in and say it. I'll be announcing the Saturday Super Session this week. Last week I told you I'll be announcing it this week. I'm not announcing it here during this live, but I'm dropping a video this week, and we're gonna get our Super Session on the way. So for those interested, make sure you follow me on YouTube and IG so you don't miss it, because every time I do one of these super sessions, I always give people a couple of weeks, sometimes even like a month. There's always a bunch of people on the day that I release the final collab that are in the comment section like, I missed it. Don't miss it. 312 was good. You didn't want to ask? Well, now you know. Another good Halloween track, The Whole World by Uncas. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. But then again, I mean, you still play what you want to play. That's also important. Do what fits for you. That's why I said I never did like too many special things for a Halloween set. Mixer or power speakers, which is the best to use with a controller? A mixer or power speakers? I don't quite see the comparison between those two. Like, normally people ask if they need passive or active speakers, but mixer or power speakers. Like, look, if you want to keep your setup as small as possible, then having active speakers, so powered speakers, means you can just connect those straight to your controller if the controller has the outputs for it. And then you're done. You don't need anything else. Like with certain speakers, you're going to need to have an actual amplifier for those speakers. Or you can take your controller, connect it to a mixer, connect the mixer to speakers. But then the setup becomes more and more. So, yeah, I mean, both will work. John, under what name did you email me? I'll have to check because I don't remember. No, it doesn't ring a bell. So either just send me that mail again, like today, so then I know and even mention like that is you. Because I currently don't remember anything like that in recent days or weeks. Just ask, I ain't gonna lie, this year Thriller will be played 90% in the set. That is the only thing. Like if you're playing at a spot with multiple DJs, like if you're doing a bar, you're the DJ for the night, then it's you're good. But if you're playing somewhere where you have like 4, 5, 6 DJs playing, we're gonna hear the same gimmicks a couple of times for sure. Or just have a huge drum rack in Ableton with selected Wilhelm screams and stuff like that. Hey, that is also an option. Then again, make sure that you have something powerful enough that it can easily run in your DJ software and Ableton and everything at the same time. To make that work, I still need to get more in tune with Ableton, by the way. Anytime I open it, it just feels so alien to me compared to all the other DAWs that I've used. But it's still on my list. Like I need to properly learn. I have it here, so I need to get into it more. Trom64 says TLM is one of the DJs responsible for me to start DJing again in 2015 after stopping in the early 80s at like 14. Hey, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope to hear that you were able to just like pick it up again. And hey, I'm just happy hearing that. Oh, I do have one question. BD, I appreciate that follow. I see you. So Just Hack says, is it necessary to prep a set? So Just Hack, for you as well. I relaunched, or I'm actively making my podcast episodes again. The podcast is not the same as it used to be. The new format is that I'm actually just covering one topic for an episode. So it's not a Q&A thing anymore because, I mean, let's be honest, we have this for Q&A. This is way more fun as Q&A compared to doing a podcast where I'm answering questions that I've copied from inboxes. Even though that was dope to do, I prefer this because I can actually interact with the people asking the questions. But the new podcasts are all about doing a single topic per episode. I started 2 weeks ago. The first episode I did, episode 87, was about selecting songs for a set. In that, I also talk a little bit about prepared versus freestyle. 88 is about preparing your music for a set. So not preparing a set, preparing music for a set. Because there's a difference between preparing music or preparing a set. So if you want to actually prepare a set, meaning you're going to make your list from A to Z, practice transitions, all of that, that's what I'm doing in the next episode. That's episode 89. That's dropping, when is that dropping? After the weekend. But if you're talking about preparing your music, it is a good thing to prepare your music. And when I say prepare your music, I mean analyze your music, setting your cue points, properly listening to it so you can hear if maybe you need to or want to set a loop at certain points, properly tag everything, that sort of stuff. Preparing an entire set is a different story. So you're saying because you got chewed out for not prepping your set. So if we're talking about actually preparing your entire set, hey, I've done that maybe, I don't know, I can probably count it on one hand the amount of times I did that. I'm basically always playing freestyle, not preparing sets. Now, there is a time and place for prepared sets where they can actually improve your performance and leave a better impression. I understand that. Okay, so prep lists. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, if I cannot always select songs for a gig. If it's a live stream, a radio gig, a festival club, no matter what, I try to get myself a folder with songs that I'd like to play. Now, that's not the only folder I have there, but I'll give that folder the name that corresponds with the event. That's what I'm digging in first. But we all have our other folders. So if I feel I need to go in a different direction, I can jump in one of those other folders. But yes, I do try to make a selection. Doesn't always work. Like, for instance, on Monday when I did my vinyl set, that is actually zero prep. And you could see, if you see it, I'm walking over to the wall and grabbing vinyl, not knowing what I'm grabbing. So that's the opposite of prep. Played in front of a club where people are dancing. Yeah, see? So if you have the crowd rocking, you shouldn't pay attention to what other people might say. The only set to prep is a Red Bull routine. Or for instance, like routines, I'm not even talking about routines because that is like, you have to prepare your routines. But there are certain things. Let's say, as an example, you're going to have a 15 or 30-minute set at a special location, and it's going to be filmed, and it's going to be whatever in a stadium for a specific crowd. It could be a good thing to prepare a set for that, because you know it's going to probably leave more of an impact because you can prepare it, make it super tight. If you do prepare, it leaves you room to actually think about more creative things, because when I'm playing freestyle, I don't have enough time to properly express all of the creativity because I'm still mixing songs. So while I'm doing that, I might do a little bit of scratching here and there, but that's it. I'm doing that, thinking of that on the fly while I'm doing it. So in a prepared set, that gives you room to make sure that, hey, I'm going to play in front of like 50,000 people. It's going to be filmed. I want to do a couple of things in there that leave an impression. Then you want to prepare that. Yeah. DBLG, salute to you. 30-minute set counts as a routine. Okay, got you. All right, real quick, because it's actually already time, so I'd have to end it. But because I have it on the table, I'm going to cover it. I've talked about this a couple times before. That goes for this one, a smaller one that I can't show because it's off screen and out of the frame, and this one right here. These are stands by a brand called Hercules, and this is not the DJ brand Hercules. These are Hercules stands. And I've been using these for quite some time during my streams now, and I really, really like them. They're super simple. They have a nice clamp system that you just tighten and loosen, and it'll fit. As you can see, I can make that clamp pretty damn big, so it can fit on a lot of tables and surfaces, or like any stand that you have, you can fit it on there. Tighten it up. Then you have the second one that allows you to change that position. And this one right here is for my iPad. Normally, when I'm streaming, this one is attached to the table and it holds my iPad so I can see the Restream chat app, because the monitor I have right here, that monitor normally is reserved for my DJ software. So in that case, I need some place to see my chat. Now I have the chat there. Normally I don't. And it's in one piece, but you can just loosen this. And if you loosen it more, you can actually detach all the parts and you can fit it into a bag. So this one, I really, really enjoy this one for the streams. This one is a podcast live stream clamp for microphones. The thing I like about this one is the form factor. It's small. It works in the exact same way as this one. It is, I mean, yes, it moved, but it is super sturdy. Even though this is some sort of, it has a plastic feel, but it still feels really sturdy. Now, if you compare this to the other one I'm using here, let me see if I can show y'all. Let's see. All right. This one is one of those more traditional type of stands. These work, but these are a lot more bulky compared to that. Now, the movement freedom with this is actually pretty nice, but I don't need that when I'm DJing. I need that here. Here it's cool to have it, so I can have it on the desk in different positions. That one is perfectly fine the way it is. But this one is nasty if I need to bring it somewhere. For travel, this is not the one I want to use. All right. So I just wanted to cover those real quick. I do have to do like a full review on these still. So Hercules sent me these like a long time ago, and I've been using them all this time. And I still haven't reviewed them. You know what? I'm going to get into these the next time. I've been talking about them for a while now. Unreal DJing, Ray, I'm going to see you. Yes, I'm a zombie now, and now I'm normal again. Gotcha. But you see the difference, right? Like that's what I enjoy about having this setup with the two GoPros. They're going to give me a similar look. And this one, I mean, I can change the settings on the M50 to make it match more, but it's never the same as the GoPro. It's just a different look. Zombie style. So I need to change the color profile on that one to match more compared to what it's doing now. That is a fact. It's a different look. Even though I love this M50 camera, I like it a lot. It also turns off after 30 minutes, which is just a beep. Not gonna say it. So yeah, the GoPros are just, the ease of use is just incredible. Yes. So let me get back to these next time. The G-Codes, the Shure M44-7 replacement. Love these. And just quickly to shout out Reloop. They sent me this a while ago. And these keep my G-Codes nice and safe. I also have this G-Code. This was a unreleased new concept of theirs, which is now not a concept anymore. I haven't tested this one yet, and a different stylus. I'm going to get into that in the next session because we're already past the time. Yeah, it looks like D-Log as opposed to the GoPro saturation. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I like the saturation as is for the live streams. Like when I'm recording with the M50, that's great because then in the edit I can do color correction. During live streams, there's no color correction, so this gives me a little bit more vibrant color, which I absolutely like. By the way, look up POV cameras meant for what you're doing. They have optical zoom, better image processing. Yeah, then again, which one are you talking about? Because the thing about the GoPros is that like they're so easy for travel for DJs because a GoPro fits into any DJ bag. And I don't have to worry about anything. I can just put them on, turn them on, and they're going to be good to go. So like optical zoom, do not need anything like that for these type of situations. Why would I need optical zoom for a streaming session where I have this and this going on? So, yeah, not needed for this one. Which one are you talking about? Because I will check it out just to see which one you're talking about. All right. Quickly, shout out to all of you in here that are still here or were here. So DJ John, Just Hack, Unreal DJing, Darrell, Swen, BD, DJ 312, Levi, Mixmaster G, DJ Wiz, Trom, Joe Mac, Black Bastard. Who else? DJ Red. There were more. I'm going to be missing out on a couple for sure. Salute to all of you. The people on Mixcloud as well. DJ Rel, DJ L Pro. Salute to y'all. DBLG, salute. I'm going to be here on Monday with a new edition of Crates. And hopefully in the meantime, DBLG is going to still give me the model and make of the cam. And who else is in here? Yeah, I think I shouted out everyone else. I'm just going to wait a sec for that camera info. So Woody, salute to you as well. Real quick, I'll check your question. I'm panicking. I'm sorry, but song selection is worrying me, and also trying to find songs to warm up the party and also get into the hype sessions of the party is worrying me. So Woody, just real quick, answer that for me, because I don't think you mentioned that. I mean, it's the birthday party, but is this in a venue or just at a house? Let me know that real quick. I'm going to wait until you get back to me. Okay, DBL, I got you. I'm going to check that out. I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah, I'm going to check that one out. Queen Caesar, salute to you. So it's at a house. I think you should stop worrying. I mean, don't take it as serious. It's a birthday party at a house. People are going to be in a good mood because it is a birthday party. Even if someone would just put on Spotify and a playlist, people would have fun. It's a birthday party at a house. So I love the fact that you're really devoted. You want to make this work, but you are approaching this as if you're going to be playing a festival for 10,000 people. It's a birthday party at a house. It should be a good vibe anyway. Most likely, you're going to get a lot of annoying semi-drunk requests for songs. That is something you should prepare for, because you're not going to be in a DJ booth. You're going to be in that same room with them. If you have hits available, you should be perfectly fine. What are you DJing on? Can you answer that for me real quick? What you're going to be using to DJ? Because if you're going to be using some DJ software, I could suggest that you look into using BeatSource Link, because that will give you access to so much music on the fly that you're going to be able to handle requests. Okay, you're going to be using the SB3, so I guess with Serato. So either use BeatSource Link, or if you have a Tidal subscription, you can use Tidal's entire library inside your Serato software. So either BeatSource Link or Tidal. That way, you're going to have access to a lot of music. Because if I have to guess, I would say you can expect to get a lot of requests, because this is not a club. There's no security, no bouncers, no DJ booth. You're going to be in that house surrounded by people. A lot of people you know. But again, expect just a fun environment. And people are just going to be there to have fun. Let's see. So yeah, if you have that, I mean, BeatSource Link, you can look into that one. Or otherwise, if you have a Tidal subscription, that can help as well. But if you use BeatSource Link, then you can go to BeatSource. You can log in with your account. They have a ton of curated playlists for all sorts of environments. So you have DJs that made playlists that you can use at any event. They have playlists for weddings. They have playlists for all sorts of occasions. They have warm-up playlists for different genres. They have primetime playlists for club hours. So that is going to help you a lot. But again, keep in mind, this is supposed to be fun. It is. And the last thing, you're going to make mistakes, and that's perfectly fine. If you keep that in mind, that's going to lower the nerves a lot. It should help you out. And you shouldn't worry too much about choosing songs, indeed, because you can't plan ahead to make this some type of perfect event. You just want to make sure you have music so you can play it. And like I said, do a little bit of research to see, hey, who's coming? Because you know a couple of them, so you know what type of music they like. Ask who else is coming and what type of music they like, because then you already have the advantage. You know what kind of people are coming and what they like. And it is a birthday party at a house. It should be a lot of fun. Yeah, DBLG, thanks. I'm going to look into that, into the cam you're talking about. And salute to all of you If you enjoyed this, make sure you spread the word. Here every Wednesday with Share the Knowledge live, mixing every Monday. But of course, I have all of my content that I'm dropping on YouTube, the podcast that you can find anywhere. So you can check me out on Anchor. That's my podcast platform, and I send it to Spotify and to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. But you can also just go to my SoundCloud. I have my podcast there as well. If you want to support this platform in another way, you can check out my Patreon, patreon.com/DJ TLM. And I'll see you guys soon. John, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's what it's all about for me. I mean, I would never in my life say like, hey, I know everything, because I clearly don't. Even today, there's questions in here. I don't know the answer, but I do share what I do know. I, just like you, I have a lot of years of experience, like you said. And I just share that experience, and DJs who've been through those things will recognize. We know what we hear. Like, hey, that's what we go through. So yeah, DBLG, you'll be hearing about that Saturday Super Session. The announcement is dropping this week. So make sure you follow, activate notifications if you're on YouTube, stuff like that. Nana, salute to you as well. And just hack back to FL Studio. Make it happen, Black Bastard. Fijne avond nog. See y'all next time. Peace. Oh wait, I got my thing right here. I said peace and wanted to walk away, but I didn't even have my stream deck on the table.